What's going on, Project RE? It is James Dainard, and today we're talking about how to add more density into your backyard through adding DADUs, single-family houses, and condoing them all off to maximize the price and value of your single-family home. So originally we bought this property here for about $775,000. We were going to put about $150,000 into the renovation and sell it for about $799,000, which is a great flip. But as we started looking at the density and seeing the comps and the values increase, we talked to our architects, and now we're turning the single family house into an ADU. After looking at the lot and having a surveyor come out and our architect research it, we realized that we could build, based on the size of our lot, a single family house that was roughly about 2,000 square feet, connect it to our single family house, and sell them separately. In addition to, this lot is nearly 7,500 square feet, which allowed us the density to add a DADU in the back. So by doing this new plan, we just went from a value of $800,000 for the project to over $2.4 million. We're gonna be selling this ADU that's gonna be fully renovated, new siding to match the rest of it, for $700,000. Our DADU, which is gonna be a 2-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 1,000 square foot structure, is gonna sell for $700,000, and our new 2,000 square foot house is gonna be sold for about $1 million. So by adding density, we were able to almost 3X the value of this property, but it is not the case for every type of property. There's certain things that you wanna look at before you start developing and planning this out. The first thing you want to do is contact your architect and start a survey process. You need to know what the size of your lot is and what the buildable footprint is and what is the max coverage. They call this the FAR ratio coverage, the floor area ratio coverage. What can you build on this lot? Every type of property in every jurisdiction has a certain amount of lot coverage. Now this property here, when we started looking into it, was almost 7,500 square feet. That allowed us to build an additional DADU, a single family house, and then turn the house into an ADU without maxing out the coverage. Once we verified that plan, we needed to research what the values were. As a licensed real estate broker, I pulled the comps for the ADU, the single family house, and the DADU, and we realized the combined value was now over $2.4 million. We ran a budget for building out the two structures and renovating the house. We put it into our pro forma, and we saw that we could make nearly 4 times the profit if we built in the back structures rather than just flipping the house. So we made sure that we could put the plan in and verified it with our architects, and then we ran the financial math on the property. We ran the comps, the budget, put it inside of our pro forma, and the pro forma didn't lie. So we went from a single base hit deal into a home run to where we can now make 4X. Now, just because you have a big backyard doesn't mean that you should always do it. It depends on some certain factors. The first thing you want to look at is what's the width of the lot. You want to make sure that you have the proper access to come through to get to your additional structures. If we did not have this dimension and we couldn't get a road in and people were gonna have to walk to their back units, this could have dropped the value over $500,000, if not more, on this site. We realized we had to have the livability. Each structure would have its own parking and have its own access, which increased the value. You never want to over-densify your site. You want to make sure that it's still sellable. Now, if we couldn't have got this road in, we would have just flipped the house and moved on with it because the values would have gone down so low, the cost to build and the time would have made a huge impact. The next thing you want to look at is how long is the deal going to take? When you start adding additional structures, it takes time, it takes money, and it stretches out the deal. And as real estate investors, it's all about that velocity of money. What can we buy it for? What can we sell it for? What profit? And how short amount of time can you achieve that? When we did the financial analysis, we saw that this project was gonna take us 9 months to make about $140,000, which is a great deal. Now, with our new development plan, this project is taking us 2 years. But the profit's worth it. We are now looking at making over $500,000 on this project, which is about 3 to 4 times more than we could have flipping the house by extending the project timelines by about 2.5 times. Because we can make 3 to 4X on our return in about twice the time frame, it makes sense for us to go through this. So if you're looking at your next development site, always check how long is this gonna take? How much value can I increase it, and is it worth doing this? To build these structures in the back costs us about $300,000 $750 a square foot from the ground to the finished product, including all plans, permits, out the door. We can sell these structures for around $700 to $800 a square foot for the DADU, and the single family house will sell for around $500 a square foot, so the math is justified. If you're looking at building, you want to run your total build cost, what the time frame is, and then what you can sell that building for on a price per square foot, and that's what will dictate the profit. Just because you can build doesn't mean that you always should. Run the cost of the land, run the cost of the build, what the total price per square foot out the door, and that will tell you whether to build or not. Remember, just because you build it doesn't necessarily mean that it will come. You have to provide value. I hope you enjoyed this quick overview on how to add units to your backyard in DADU investing. Remember, it doesn't always make sense. You want to stick with the math. Look at what you can build, what the cost is, run the comps, and then make your decision. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you like and subscribe below to get more free real estate investing tips, and stay on the journey with us as we get this property ready for resale, and stay tuned for that finished product.